Kanhangad here. We're in the Govind Swami temple right outside Ganeshpuri, a very beautiful and powerful Samadhi shrine. And today I'm with Gopalkrishna Shenoy. It's my great good fortune to be with him and to be here. And I'll be talking to him about just his growing up. His family is a very esteemed family in that they going back 5 generations, they've had a connection with Bhagavan Nityananda. So he has been, since his inception, I could say, steeped in the Shakti, the profound grace of Bhagavan Nityananda. So Gopal Krishna, welcome.
Namaste.
So nice to be with you.
Thank you.
So Gopal Krishna, yes, tell us how your family came to know Bhagavan Nityananda. How did that happen?
We Shenoy family come from Karnataka. We were living in a village called Padbidri, which is close to Mangalore, about 1 hour distance from Mangalore. And it was a small village. And Bhagwan in those days used to travel between this whole shore of Karnataka shore and used to move many places. My uncle Sitaram Shenoy was a very strong personality, very strong personality, and was a good businessman and very outgoing. But he was throughout feeling restless that he was in search of a guru. So any monks who visited our village, he used to go and ask him, "Are you my guru? Are you my guru?" And he used to move around various places in search of guru. One day he heard that one sannyasi, one monk has come to a neighboring village called Mulki. And no sooner he got to know that some saint has come, he ran to Mulki, and there he revisited and he found there was a large hall. On the windowsill, there was a lanky young youth sitting there, and lots of people in the hall going and bowing to him and talking to him, and he answering them. So he saw this from far. It was more of a shilot because there was a light slightly falling on him, and he could see a lean, dark, lanky boy sitting there and talking to so many people coming and bowing to him. So finally, he went close to him, and when he bowed to him, Nityananda, the monk asked him, "Why have you come here?" He said, "I have come in search of Guru. You have found one. Now what is next?"
Oh, how beautiful! Yes.
With this, so much of conviction was there in that young boy, telling them, "You have found one. Now what is the next?" Sitaram Shenoy immediately realized that he has found his Guru. He bowed to him. And there started the connection of the Shenoy family and the Bhagavan Nityananda. We got connected to him for 5 generations. My father Raghunath, his father Chadab Shenoy, and his father Anand Shenoy. And there is one generation after me called Kamlakar. So we got connected him with for five generations, because my grandfather was not keeping well. He had severe stomachache. So Sitaram Shenoy went and met Baba and told him that his grandfather is not keeping well. He plucked few grass and gave him and said, "Boil this in a water and give him to drink." That water, that extract from the grass. It was normal grass, it was nothing great. But his words were power. The words carried Shakti. So when he took that grass and boiled and gave his grandfather to drink, the grandfather became well. So this is where we got connected. Later on, being enterprising in nature, my uncle and my father and his brothers all came to Mumbai, and we were in search of setting up our own shop and our own business. And one fine day, he came to know that Bhagwan is at Gol Mandir. Gol Mandir is a place in Mumbai. It is called Paidoni and goes Muhammad Ali Road in that place. He heard that one saint has come there. And from his description, Sitaram Shenoy immediately got connected, and he went to Gol Mandir, and Baba was sitting on the step of the Shiva Mandir. It is called Gol Mandir because the shape of the Mandir is round. The temple is round shape. And Baba was sitting there. And he went to Baba and bowed to him and said, "Please come to my house." Baba at times visited people's house, not always. And he agreed to come there, and he came to our house and he sat for some time. We offered him coffee to drink and all that. And then the relation went on building. In fact, when Bhagwan came to Ganeshpuri for the first time, he came along with Sitaram Shenoy here. He took him to Vajeshwari temple, and there is a lion in front of the Vajeshwari temple. He tapped at his back and said, "Get up now. The devotees are going to come." In that way, he awakened the Devi.
Oh.
The Devi was, for that long time, he was dormant.
In Vajeshwari.
So, in
Yes.
Vajeshwari.
Ah,
So
okay.
he patted the lion's back and said, "Get up now, devotees are coming." And thereafter he settled in Akroli and Vajeshwari. In Vajeshwari, there are two samadhis which where he used to sit down. He got that place cleaned because lot of the it was not in a proper order, and he built a small hut over it. And that place he called Nath Mandir. And there is a samadhi of Machendranath and Gorakshanath. One may say, how is that? There is a their samadhi here because there are so many other places where samadhis have been claimed. See, these Navnaths were Chiranjeev. Chiranjeev means they did not have death. Means they used to give up their body and they used to come emerge again. So one of the places where they gave their body was in Vajeshwari. So you have two samadhis there. One on the right is Machendranath and one on the left is the Gorakshanath when you face the Padukas. And there is a Padukas of Bhagwan Nityananda which is kept there. And this is a very powerful place where one can sit and meditate. Very powerful because you need to be enough prepared for that state of meditation because sometimes this Machendranath and Gorakshanath manifest there and one may not be able to absorb their sight looking at them or the Shakti that comes at that moment. And it is said that Vajeshwari with her retinue he visits Machendranath in the evening and we were forbidden from visiting that temple after sunset because they used to sit together and they used to discuss. So now, of course, people break rules. Otherwise, after sunset, one could not enter the Samadhi Mandir of Mutinal. Thereafter, Bhagwan came to our hotel, came and sat on our counter at the shop, and we flourished, we grew large, and for 5 generations, we continued to live with Bhagwan. Bhagwan lived with us, we lived with Bhagwan, and there were a lot of wonderful experiences.
So that's amazing that your uncle went with Bhagwan Nityananda the first time Bhagwan Nityananda went to Ganeshpuri. That's amazing piece of information, I have to say. So what happened after that? So Bhagwan, I imagine at that point, established himself in Ganeshpuri. How would you describe that?
After that visit, Bhagwan settled down for some time at Akroli, which is close to Vajeshwari. Then he was with some time even in Nath Mandir. But later on, he moved towards Bhimeshwar Mandir. There was a lady there called Gangubai and her husband living there. And he built a small hut beside Bhimeshwar temple.
Now, the Bhimeshwar temple is located next to the present-day Samadhi shrine in Ganeshpuri. It's also known as the Shiva temple. Yes.
So there was a small hut in which he lived. And before that, the hut was built for him right in front of Kailas. There was a pond there, and that temple, that hut was built there, and he used to live there. Very few visitors were there. We used to often come. Ganeshpuri was a jungle, and you had to carry everything from Mumbai, including even a matchbox. Were you to forget your matchbox, then you could not lit your stove and cook your food. So there was one bus in the morning, one bus in the evening. Bus was run as a private bus by one Mr. Patkar. So we used to catch an early train and come to Ganeshpuri. It used to stop at Shivaji Chowk. From there, we used to walk. And it was a jungle with a lot of grass and tall grass and very difficult to reach right inside Ganeshpuri. But it was a fun. And we visited Bhagwan in Vaikunth. Then the hall came and the small rooms were made for visitors. And that place was called Vaikunth. At Vaikunth, Bhagwan was like Lord Vishnu, very strong, very powerful, and very disciplinarian. He did not.
I'm sorry, could you describe Vaikunth again? I don't know if Vaikunth is a location, right?
Vaikunth is where the present Samadhi Mandir is there.
Oh, okay. I'm glad I asked because I hadn't understood that.
Yeah, I forgot to say that. It was where the present Samadhi Mandir is called Vaikunth. And Vaikunth is associated with Lord Vishnu. So here Bhagwan was very strong. And in fact, it was without him accepting you, you could not even step inside Vaikunth ashram. At times he used to hit with stones and ask people to run away, not come there. Once my dad went to meet him, and he picked up so many stones and hit him. People were wondering why my dad is not running away, because he had started bleeding by that time. And when people asked him after the whole drama was over, why did you run away? He was hitting you with so many stones and you were hurt all over. He said, what you were looking at him, what you saw of him was of anger. But when I was looking at him, there was a beautiful form of him. And that kept me mesmerized. So why Bhagwan behaved that way? He wanted only those genuine devotees who could leave their ego out and come to him. Imagine if I visit your house,
yes,
and you insult me, or forget about hitting me, even insult me, or you say some words which are hurting. I will not come to you again.
Yes.
But here, in spite of him beating us, shouting at us, there was, see, coming from Mumbai to Ganeshpuri was not easy.
No.
It was a huge, because in those trains were less, one bus was there, and you have to carry all things around. And after you step inside, he says, go back home.
Wow. Yeah, we were. I was with friends recently driving into Ganeshpuri.
Going back home.
We were imagining what it was like back in the day when Bhagwan was there. But also, you know, when he does, Bhagwan would throw rocks or whatever. There was something that was happening for the shisha, for the student, you know, for the devotee, that was probably not obvious. You know, how it appeared was probably very different from what was actually happening.
Yeah. Apparently, it was appearing as if he's hitting, or he was shouting, or he was cursing, whatever it was. But what was internally happening to each devotee was their karmas were washed away.
Yes, karmas were washed away. Yes.
As you remind me, there was one Mr. Khanolkar who was doing business, who wanted to become a saint, sannyasi. He wanted to become a monk.
Right.
And he repeatedly came to Bhagwan and said that I want to become a monk.
Right.
And one day, Bhagwan dissuaded him every time. But one day he said, come what may, I am going to take a diksha from him, otherwise I will not go back home, I am going to fast unto death. So he took bath in the kunda with a wet cloth, he didn't rub himself dry, came and sat in front of him and said, today either I get diksha or I die here.
Oh!
Bhagwan picked up a thick stick and hit him on his head. He started bleeding. And he said, you are not meant for this. You have duties to do. You have two nieces to get married. And you are not yet ready to become a monk. Go back home, get your nieces married who are orphans. You have to take care of them. And you too have to get married. And you have to live your life. And when time comes, things will happen for you. So his beating had a meaning. It was not what we feel at worldly level. Level. It was at spiritual level that he was hitting. Once he hit a monk who had come here on this part, just behind the ankle, and he started screaming. Then somebody close to Bhagwan asked, "Why did you hit him?"
Who was screaming? The monk.
That monk was screaming. Somebody said, "You are such a young. Why did you hit him?" He said, "I didn't hit him. There is one particular nerve of his which needed cleansing.
After, a nadi, spiritual, subtle body passage, yes.
And that is what I have done. And the same happened with Sri M. Sri M was given a tight slap, which you can see read in his book. And his one nadi was, right side nadi was cleared by Bhagavan Nityananda. So the beating had its own meaning. And as days passed, Bhagavan, more and more people started coming to him. The devotees' numbers increased. The jungle became a better place where people could stay, and later on devotees...
Probably there was a chai wala that eventually appeared, right? Chai wala.
Yes.
Yes.
So then then there was a sugarcane juice fellow also came. And Bhagavan used to call it as an amrit. And whenever some devotees came, he used to order a few glasses of it and say, drink amrit.
Chai wala is just the person that makes chai for everybody.
Then the Kailas came, and so many things grew, schools, colleges. But one thing was very clear with him, that he never used the word I have to use the word I for him, because that's the only way I can keep this conversation on. He used to say here or this one. Whenever it came to addressing to him about himself, it was here or this one. So when he was told that we will build an ashram for you, or we'll build a school for children, he said, whatever you want to do, do it for yourself. This one wants nothing to do with it. You have built Kailas, I'll come and stay here. But if you ask me to manage Kailas, I will not do it. It is you who have to manage. You want to build a school? Yes. Run that school. But don't give it to me. I'm not interested.
He wanted to know he was profound renunciation. Yes. He wanted to own nothing.
And once people asked him that, why don't you take a disciple? He said, this one requires none. Disciples are taken when there is a desire. You want a lineage, you want a continuity. Just as we worldly people want children to come so that our lineage is kept. Similarly, this one doesn't have desire. So there is no disciple, there is no mutt, that is sect. He said, this one has no guru, no disciples. This one comes from no school. This one comes from no sect. This one does not believe in any religion, any caste, any creed, or any race. It has no binding. It is free, self-sustaining, and requires nothing from anyone. You come because you want to. I don't call you. You come because you want to. It is like going to ocean. And what you get from ocean depends on what size of the vessel you are going to carry. If you carry a huge drum, you will get a whole lot of water. If you carry a bucket with a hole in it, you will go empty. So it's your choice. And he never ever went to anyone. He says, ocean does not go anywhere. People come to the ocean. So he was at one place, and all the king, noblemen, queen, saints, businessmen, politicians, rich and poor came at his feet. And they were begging at him, where he owned nothing. He possessed nothing, but he owned everything.
So, Gopalkrishna Ji, so I'm understanding that he bowed to no deity or whatever, but let me ask you that question. Were there any deities associated with him? Did he have a relationship or connection with any deity?
Although Bhagwan came to Ganeshpuri and he stayed close to Bhimeshwar, whatever my parents have seen, he never ever bowed to any god, any statue, or went to any temple and carried out ritual. He was self-sustaining, was totally manifested as Shiva. So we have never seen him bowing or praying to anyone. Then people do say how Krishna came or how Bhadrakali came. Krishna came in a very strange way. There was a
because there's a shrine, a Krishna shrine behind the Samadhi shrine.
Behind the Samadhi shrine, that time it was Vaikunth. There was a huge carved stone, half inside the earth and half outside the earth, outside the ground. And we used to often grind our masalas on that. When we used to stay here and we had to cook, we used to take a stone and grind over it.
Bhagwan did that or no?
No, we did that.
We did it, yes, okay.
So without knowing what it was. So one day the expansion program came and there was a mason called Bhagwan Mistri. His name was Bhagwan Mistri. He did most of the construction work that you see around here. He was called and they started digging around. Then it came that this piece of large stone has to be moved out. And some 20-25 people tried to push it out, but it did not budge. So they went to Bhagwan and said that stone is not moving. He said, what it is not moving? You first offer its puja, offer a coconut, and make a request that please budge, and 3 people can move it. So they did that. They brought a coconut, they kept in front of him, they gave camphor arti and all that they did, and they made a request to move. And as he said, 3 people came and they lifted it out. Easily.
Yes.
And what they found that it was a bull, Nandi, of Shiva, which was broken.
So Nandi is the cow.
Yeah. Yes. Bhagwan that time told him that promise it that when we bring you out, we'll make a cow out of you.
Oh, it wasn't already a cow.
Yeah, it was a bull.
It was a bull, okay.
So Bhagwan said, promise that stone that we'll make a cow out of you. So it was brought out, it was found to be a bull, and then that as promised, it was to be made into cow. But if you make a cow, then Krishna automatically comes in.
Yes.
The mason, Bhagwan Mistri, made the statue of Krishna that you see now, and the cow that you see behind it is actually bull. What they say the Maha Avatar like Bhagwan can do impossible happen. Like making cow out of a bull. It's an impossible thing. So he demonstrated that Bhagwan is of an order that he can do anything which is impossible. So Krishna came in there and the cow was made. Even now, if you see on the below the foot of Krishna, there is a small Shivalinga. There is a small Shivalinga which is kept. In those days, Krishna's eyes were very large and fearsome. So Bhagavan, they went and told Bhagavan, how is he? He asked. He said, far from being any sweet or good looking.
Yes.
He said, when you look at the statue, don't look at the beauty of it, look at the sight. The sight has to be powerful. A statue may look very beautiful, but if the sight doesn't carry the Shakti,
yes,
then their statue has no meaning.
Well, I think of Krishna as Madhuram, very sweet.
Yeah, but now what they have made is Madhuram.
Yeah, yeah.
But in those days, his eyes were very piercing. He was there not with his Radha.
Yeah.
He was there as a Yogeshwar Krishna. Yogeshwar Krishna gives lot of Shakti. The Krishna here is Yogeshwar. He is the king of yoga. So he has manifested here as yoga, not as a Radha Krishna or Rukmini Krishna. Without his spouse.
Here.
Yeah, without his spouse. He is alone. And he is there as Yogeshwar playing a flute to put us into state of Samadhi.
Beautiful.
And then there were no other temple as such. Bhimeshwar and Krishna. Bhadrakali also came in the meanwhile. There was a lady, people when they went to take bath early morning, because in those days we used to go early morning. Baba used to go around 3 to take bath. We were forbidden from going there during that time. We used to go after he has taken bath. It was forbidden. You could not go between 3 and 4. My aunt, who later on became in charge of Anand Ashram at Mangalore of Tulasamma, and my sister had come here to Ganeshpuri for an overnight to stay. In those days, there was no clock. Having a watch was a luxury. And we had a bell near museum, which was rung as per the time. If you ring it one time, it means 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock.
Oh, it was like,
okay. She lost a count and she thought it is 4. She went to take bath.
Oh.
And when she entered there, she was shocked. Bhagwan was floating on the water in Padmasan, and there were lots of celestial women coming and bathing him. It was like, you see rocket during Diwali or festivals, during Christmas, they send rocket and sparkles come up.
Wow.
Similarly, yoginis used to come. Yogini came one after another and they started bathing him. And this went on for some time. She stood fixed, foxed totally there, looking at him.
I can imagine.
And then she suddenly realized she made a mistake of coming early. She ran back to Vaikunth Ashram where my sister was sleeping and she woke him up. And before she could tell her what she saw, he came there roaring, shouted at her, "Do you have any sense? How dare you to come there and keep your mouth shut? Keep your mouth shut." And Gulabi Amma did not tell at that time what happened, what she saw. It was years later she shared it to my sister. Do you remember that night I came and woke you up? It was because yoginis were coming and bathing him. And if you read Guru Charitra, there are 64 yoginis, 64 yoginis who used to come and do puja of Narsim Saraswati, the Datta Avatar Narsim Saraswati. I think it is in the 19th chapter of Guru Charitra, where when he was in Gangapur, they used to come and they used to request him and take him to they had a palace below the river, Amraja river, and the river used to split into 2, and they used to take him there, and he was given that honor of making him sit on a throne, bathe him, do his puja.
This is Bhagwan you're talking about?
That is of Dattatreya.
Oh, Dattatreya. Okay.
Similarly here, the yoginis from sky, they used to come from sky and
from the subtle world,
and this is one thing which was there. Another thing was when people went to take bath around front, they saw a lady in white dress singing beautiful classical songs. It happened several times. So they went to Bhagwan and said, there is a lady early morning, she comes and she sings. What is that? He said, it is Bhadrakali. she has followed this one. That means she has followed him from Gokarn. In Gokarn, if you go, there's a Bhadrakali temple there.
Okay.
So she followed him from Gokarn and she came here and she was asking for a place. Bhadrakali normally have to give sacrifice, a goat or whatever it is. Meat has to be offered to him. If you see Dakshineshwar also, Ramakrishna Paramahansa, if you see, that Kali was also offered meat.
Oh, was offered meat
Ramakrishna
there.
Paramahansa himself kept away from it because he was not from that place.
From that.
Yeah. So he said, I had not given her place, but now I put a condition to her that if she wants to she wants to be here with me in Ganeshpuri, no meat will be ever offered to her. She has to remain totally vegetarian.
And she agreed.
He agreed, and then he called Bhagwan Mistri, and that temple was made. The wall Bhadrakali that you see is the first Bhadrakali which Bhagwan made, which was made on the wall by the same Bhagwan Mistri. Bhagwan Mistri is a mason.
That's the one that's behind the one that we see.
Behind one.
Yes.
That is the original Bhadrakali with a sword in her hand, raised hand. The one which in the front is a softer version, which came in a very exciting way, but that will take its own time. If I have to describe that,
maybe a separate.
It will be. It's a nice. How it came is she's called Kailas Bhadrakali. Maybe someday when we can have another round, we can describe how Kailas Bhadrakali came to Ganeshpuri.
Yes, that would be great. That would absolutely be great.
It was amazing. Time was amazing. Every moment with him was a utsav, was a celebration. Utsav is a celebration. Celebration for no reason. Joy for no reason. You had no reason to be joyful.
Causeless joy. Causeless joy, yes.
And we used to sit with him behind Krishna temple in that dark night. We used to sit and we used to cook for him. And he used to sit there and he used to talk of so many different things. There are so many topics he used to think about, talk about. He used to tell about the politics. He used to talk about World War. Who is doing what is Germany doing, what is Hitler doing. Then as the topic moves, he used to change. Suddenly if somebody talks about star, see Bhagwan, there is a beautiful star up there. Then he used to talk about astronomy.
Really?
He used to talk which star is what are they, what do they mean, what effect they have on our body, on our mind, on our psychology.
Is that written anywhere?
No. Unfortunately, my family was not alert enough to note it down. In fact, he was good in numerology. He used to tell of each number what they mean without looking at your horoscope.
Oh my
For example, Mr. Nair of Kanhangad, when his marriage was fixed with a girl, they came, he had approved that girl, but the astrologer told her this horoscope is not matching.
Right.
When it was shown to Bhagwan, we were kept with to Bhagwan, Bhagwan said it is matching. But he said the astrologer is saying no. Then Bhagwan described what are the stars in it without seeing it. And how those stars removes the counter effect of the other stars. They went and told the astrologer. Astrologer agreed. He said, who is this astrologer who has told you?
Who saw this? The Maha astrologer.
And thus both of them got married. He was the chairman of Kanhangad Ashram.
Kanhangad.
Kanhangad Ashram.
Another great topic.
Yeah. A lot of things to share, a lot of things to say, but time is always limited.
Yes.
This is what we do. Thank you.
So Gopalkrishna Ji, we could sit here for hours, honestly. I mean, it's very revealing, these stories, these beautiful details. Everyone will so appreciate it. So thank you for your time today. And I hope we can do it many more times, that we have a chance to really hear more about
By His grace, yes.
So something really great happened recently on Mahashivaratri, March 8th. There was the launching of a website, nityanandababa.com. And it was the main engineers of this, so to speak. Central to this are Gopalkrishna Ji and Niranjan Suvarna. He also, the two of them, really helped create this website. So this is a gift for the entire world, really. All the photos, Niranjan's father was the official photographer for Bhagavan Nityananda, so he has access to all these photos and he's making them available to the entire world. No copyright, they're free. They're there just like Bhagavan Nityananda, just free. And also Gopalkrishna, who's a repository of such wisdom and information about Bhagavan. He's written 3 books, right?
5 books.
5 books. And are they all available on the website?
4 have been loaded, others
Yes.
have to come.
Yeah, and there's one more to come. They are available, I think, in PDF format to download free of charge. So, and I think there are plans for other facets to this website. So go and there's more there. Actually, I'm not describing presently. So go there and look for yourself, receive the grace and the gift of this website. So is there anything else you'd like to say, Gopal Krishna, to everybody today?
When I started this seva, one thing occurred to me that I was only 5 years old or 6 years old when Baba took Mahasamadhi. Yes, for 5 generations we experienced the grace. But a question used to often come to me that, am I authorized to really talk about Bhagwan or his devotees?
I think you are, but anyway.
And that kept bothering me for long. And although I used to sleep hardly for 2-3 hours, and most of the time I used to jot down whatever my parents said, because my father expired in 86, and what happened to me that all this will be lost, because it was all verbal, and there were so many devotees visiting our house after Baba's Samadhi, and every day there was some talk or the other, and I used to hold book in front of me, and I used to simply listen to them and not study. But every day it kept on as if there was a shower outside. It was drenching me of Bhagwan's Leela, Bhagwan's teachings, and I used to simply listen to it. But the question still persisted whether I'm authorized, whether I'm qualified to talk about him, because you need so many study to be done, you need to evolve yourself, you need to do sadhanas before you can talk of a Mahavatar. I call him a Mahavatar. I don't call him a saint or sadhu or sannyasi. He's a Mahavatar of 20th century.
Can you describe what Mahavatar means?
Mahavatar is someone who has no guru, who has no disciple. He is a manifestation of supreme consciousness. It does belongs to no sect. He belongs to no religion, no school of thoughts. Everything is a fountainhead of all philosophy. Everything starts from him. He doesn't refer to any books. Whatever he says is like that coming from Vedas. It is coming from him. It is like a fountainhead, spring of water coming out from him. So talking of such a Mahavatar or even mentioning about him is difficult. At that point of time, one of my friends gave me a poem written by Sant Jnaneshwar. Sant Jnaneshwar is of very high order. He is another Mahavatar who took Sanjeevan Samadhi at Alandi. And he wrote a poem which left me touched. And that poem goes like this: Pahe pa dhwajache chirkut. Dhwajache is a flag. Chirkut is a piece of cloth. Raya jatana karita kasta. A piece of cloth has no meaning. You use it as a duster, you keep it to wipe, you wipe your nose, you wipe anything and you throw it away. But when it is made as a flag by a king, everyone follows it. Everyone comes under. So what is useless gets all the respect just because king has declared it as a flag. Similarly, Taise mi ek patita pari tujha mudrankita. That he says, I am a small guy, I am not qualified, I am not authorized. But just because you have put your emblem on me, I have got the authority. Everyone respects me, everyone listens to me. And a small mashi patrate kevade, a small piece of paper is small, it has no meaning, it's just lying around, you throw it, you use something to eat upon and you throw it. Rava chalvi apule pade. But just when the king puts his order on it and stamps it, it becomes a law. And everyone has to obey it. So similarly he says, Bap Rakumayi Devi Varu. Bap is father. Rakumayi Devi is consort of Vittal, is her husband. Veru Sambal Apulya Biruda. You will take care of these children of yours. So when this was brought to me, it took me some time to understand. But when I understood it, it dawned upon me that yes, our family is blessed for 5 years. He has given me my name, Gopalkrishna was given by him.
He gave you that
yes.
name, yes.
He has held me, he has loved me, and although I may not have studied scriptures, I may not have gone to a lot of sadhanas or anything, but simply because he has put his hand on me, I have some some right to speak about him. There's a reason I speak about him, and that too after much study and reason. My books were written somewhere in 2012. I wrote it for my own joy, and one day Niranjan Suvarna wanted to make a documentary on Bhagwan, so he bound that book. He took a binding of book just as we bind our thesis when we do our PhD, and we met in Ganeshpuri, and he gave a book in my hand. And I opened and I said, so beautiful. He said, what so beautiful? It is yours. I said, mine? Yes. He said, whatever you wrote, I have just printed it out, took a printout and it's bound. Then we went to Bhagwan Samadhi. And that book was shown to, that thesis was shown to Bhagwan. And then he said, why don't you publish it? I said, I cannot. I am not so qualified to do something and give it out to the world. He said, why do you say that? Finally, you are just sharing what you have done. So you can do it that. And finally, we published a book called Anand. Anand is not of Bhagavan Nityananda. I am not qualified to write of Bhagavan Nityananda. I am writing about his devotees. And through the eyes of devotees and the experience of devotees, you are getting only a glimpse of Bhagavan Nityananda. The whole of Bhagavan Nityananda is not within my reach. By talking about his devotees, by talking about all those who experience his grace and the grace that they experience, you will get some glimpse of Bhagavan Nityananda. That is what is Anand. And I met, when I was small, Bhagavan used to give me a lot of toys and so many things. Once he put a crown around my head of a crepe paper crown on my head, and then he gave me a pen, which I was wondering why that pen is ever given to me. I was too small that time. I said, when he took Samadhi, I was hardly 5 years old. A blue color pen was given to me. And then one day when he was distributing clothes, he gave me and my brother clothes. But it turned out to be a half sari, of which normally girls wear. And all those who were around started laughing at us because it was not to be given to the boys. But someone went and told Baba that by mistake they have got saris. So he called us back and he said, you first took those back, and he gave us 2 shirts. Blue color shirt to my brother, his Harinanda, his name is Harinanda, elder brother, and he gave ochre color shirt for me. And since it was given, I was forced to wear in front of him. And when I wore, it came right up to my ankle. And I was looking like a small monk moving around.
Oh, I can imagine you walking around.
And that shirt, even today I have. It is kept with me. During Datta Jayanti, and I bring it out and I offer my respect to Bhagwan for giving me that.
That's adorable.
And that was there in my mind. There was always a desire since then to write something about him. Something.
He gave you a pen.
Yes, he gave me a pen.
That's a sure signal.
And somewhere I came to meet Govind Swami, and he loved me because I came from this family. Myself, I had no this, but because of my family, he loved me. And then all out of blue, he asked me, will you write on Chidakash Gita? I just stared at him because so many efforts I had made to read Chidakash Gita, I used to fall asleep within first few pages. I said, what is
so
this?
So Chidakash Gita is a compilation, from what I understand. Tulsi Amma, she managed to write things down, and it's a compilation of Bhagwan and what he said. He spoke very little, but she captured some of his
aphorisms.
His aphorisms.
And since it was done at so many different levels, it was not in a flow. It was not written for a book. It was whatever he said at different places, different times, under different circumstances. So I just bowed at him because you cannot say no to saint, nor you can say yes, because you are saying yes, you are committed to it. If you say no, you are going against his desire that I should do it about him. But few years later, Chidakash Gita started opening out to me. Opening out to me, I am saying at my level of positioning on this path. I am not saying that level at which it is written. At a level which I am for a young person who had even not begun the journey. For him, it opened up. And so whatever opened up to me, I started sharing. And these books came. I did Haripat. I did Guru Stavan of Tulasamma, that is bhajans composed by Tulasamma. Then I wrote on my family, their contribution, and so many different things started happening. And
So Haripad's the title of one of your books, is that right?
Anant is one book. Guru Stavan is the of Tulasamma. Blooming of Brahma Kamal, one is Haripat. Blooming of Brahma Kamal. I somehow, there is another story how Swami Samarth also came in my life. Swami Samarth is of Akkalkot.
Yeah.
And I had profound experiences about his grace. And then, since I was very attached to Bhagwan, I was not ready to accept any other saints. In fact, when Jaya Jaya Arati Nityananda was sung, the stanza where it says, Sirdi Sainato Hosi, Akkalkota Swami Hosi, I used to not sing that.
Oh, that's
saying my Bhagwan is different, Baba, has nothing to do with them. But he made me aware that I am all. And I am everything put together.
Yes, yes. Bhagwan.
Standalone.
Yeah.
I am standalone. That stuck to me afterwards. So what I did, I studied the Leela of Swami Samartha. I studied the Leela of Bhagwan. And I showed how Guru Tattva is one. Guru, essence of Guru is one. And that blooming of Brahma Kamal too is of Swami Samarth and Bhagwan Nityananda. And I believe in sharing Leela along with what is the takeaway from it. Each Leela has a takeaway. If you listen to Leela only as a Leela, then it becomes a story. Then it becomes a story. If you study what is the wisdom out of it, then it becomes a Leela.
Wow.
So those books are available on the website.
Well, we are very happy that Bhagwan gave you that pen along with everything else. We're very fortunate that you are sharing with us. I can't even begin to say how wonderful that is, Gopalkrishna. Your love for Bhagavan, for me, gives you total authority to speak of him and to share who he was and is to all of us. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Jai
Nityananda. Jai Nityananda. So that ends our interview for now. Hopefully there'll be more with Gopalkrishna Shenoy. I hope all are well, and I do hope that you you feel the beauty and power of all this, that it brings great grace to your life as well. Namaste, everybody. Take care.
Thank you, everyone. Namaste. Namaste, Annie. Thank you, Annie.
Thank you.